See, the thing with love is that sometimes it takes you many years to figure out why you love somebody. It just happens. It's an organic thing, it's a natural thing. Sometimes even before you connect with somebody or spend time with them, you already start loving them. You know, that's the funniest and the most impractical but real thing about love. So when it comes to love stories, I don't really look for logic. I look for magic. You know, if you feel like it was magical, if you feel like it made you feel romantic, it made you remember those moments when your heart was full of feelings, and you know, so I think it's about bringing that kind of you know, that mood in the audience, and I felt that this film had that energy because of just how raw and real it was. Having said that, I've always said that Kabir is the more, you know, everybody's been saying शाहिद का strong character है, कियारा जी आपका थोड़ा subtle character है, तो आपको कैसा लगा? You know, I really feel Preeti is a much stronger character in the film. Kabir is actually the weaker character because people who are stronger are less reactive and people who are weaker are actually more reactive. And Kabir is not responding. See, there's a big difference between response and reaction. When you respond, you've thought it through and then you respond. When you react, it's just an immediate reaction. And Kabir is very reactive. So to me, Kabir is the vulnerable, flawed guy deep inside who looks very aggressive on the outside. And Kiara is the much stronger, much more stable character on the inside who looks more vulnerable on the outside. And to me, that's actually the coolest part about this film and how the characters have been interpreted. And so, she is the stability in Kabir's life. Preeti is the stability in Kabir's life.
Question आ रहा है किधर से मेरे पास है? चल डराते हो आ रहे हो. All right, so this one's for the both of you again. You know, there are certain things that you can't do in real life, right? But when you are playing a character, you get the liberty to do it. So ऐसा कभी होता है कि बड़ा excited हो गए इस चीज को करने में, किसी को धोना है, पीटना है, कुछ करना है. बताओ, that's informal है.
भाई रियल में तो मैं किसी को मार ही नहीं रहा हूँ. तो मारने का रियल सेटिस्फैक्शन तो तब होता है ना जब सामने वाले को लगती है, और तब होता है जब आप किसी को मारना चाहते हो और उसको मार पड़ती है. तो यहाँ पे तो आप कट के बाद पहले पूछ रहे हो तो ब्रो आई यू ओके, और यू नो शुड आई बी अ लिटिल यू नो 2 inches to the left or 2 inches to the right, and you know, you can be doing it as well as you can, but if the reaction is not coming well from the samne wala is not coming correctly, you know, the moment doesn't come alive. So it's actually, action in films is actually like it's like ballet, it's like choreography. You know, you have to do it in partnership with the person that you're doing it with. So it's actually a very collaborative thing. When you're doing those kind of things on camera, it's an art, you know, so you have to do it as a team. ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि बड़ा मुझे मज़ा आया और उसको बुरा लगा, ऐसा नहीं है. We are creating a moment together. So उसमें उस तरह की feelings नहीं होती. वो लगता है वैसे, that's our job. But while doing it, it's a technical job.
Kiara, for you, screen पे ये करने में मजा आया या कर लिया ना real life?
Not yet. I mean, of course, not in this film. But I hope all of that happens. But I'm going to just divert a bit, and I want to add something to his question. When you asked him, what is it that Kabir loves in Preeti or likes in her? And I remember asking my director the same question. I said, but why does Kabir, you know, why is it that one moment that, like, what is it in her? What is so special about her? She's a simple girl, and what is it? There's nothing. So he said, think about it. Think about every time you've been in love. What is it? Have you ever had that defining moment where when you've seen someone say, I feel like talking to her, I feel like messaging her today or him today, or initially when you start off, it's never like that. There's not something that we do that that makes you want to talk to the person. Like he said, it's that magic. And in real life, it's easy to create it. And on screen, and sometimes it's tricky, you know. It's like, how do you know? How do you know it's going to happen? And I think, but that was the beauty of this particular story, because otherwise you always see films and you say, अच्छा लड़की ने बच्चों को बचाया and suddenly the boy sees it and she's fallen in love, and you're always trying to make a reason for it. But there's no real reason. You can never define that moment when, what is it in a person that, you know, attracts you to. Yes, eventually then you like falling in love with a person. It may take a month, a few days, who knows, maybe first sight. But that initial thing that draws you to a person, you can never define that moment. And I felt things like this, which was so unspoken, was just so magical to see in a Hindi, you know, an Indian film. So yeah, I just want to add that. Back to you. नहीं यार, कुछ नहीं अब तक. We'll come there. Next few films.
That's what a brilliant actor does. एकदम यहाँ पे serious जवाब आने के बाद back to you. नहीं यार, वो तो कुछ नहीं, वो मतलब flip मार के एकदम. You know, शायद last time also when we met, I told you कि हमेशा आपकी फिल्म में वो चुल वाला गाना रहता ही है. This time did you miss it? Like एक होता है ना, जिसको होता है ना.
भाई चुल वाला गाना क्या होता है?
होता है ना, you agree, right? one step, this, that.
Yeah.
So that's what everybody is saying.
कौन सा गाना? हाँ.
उधर में दूसरे लोग कर रहे थे. बाकी लोग कर रहे थे. छोड़ो, let's not talk about that. Yes.
तेरा सवाल क्या भाई?
छोड़ दो, क्या आपने कर लिया. Alright, any more questions? मैं चला गया.
He's losing, not being able to come up with questions. इतने दूर आए हो 4 घंटे कुछ पूछ लो यार.
मेरे से आंखें चुरा रहे, मैं जिसको देख रहा हूँ एकदम ऐसे हो जा रहा है, मेरे को नहीं देख रहा.
They've just eaten, they're all lazing. It's that snooze time. Of course.
फिर दवाई नहीं.
I do feel that we have less love stories in Bollywood. We have had less love stories of late. I remember asking someone asked this to Imtiaz also that how the face of love has changed over the years, and so has Hindi cinema's way of approaching it. So you don't think that quintessential love stories we don't have them anymore?
So on one hand, I think there was a time when we only used to focus on love stories. So if you compare it in relative terms, yeah, there are very few love stories happening today. The good thing about that is that good stories are being told today, and they don't have to be love stories to be, universal or overseas maybe chal jayegi, or young youth audience aa jayegi, and all that stuff that you used to hear. Thank God that time is gone where we are obsessed with love stories and we can't think beyond love stories.
You were the face of it.
Yeah, I mean, I have gone through a phase where a few of them have really done well. But I was always trying to break out with the Kamines and the Heathers, and I was always trying to break out, because I was actually really not that excited about love stories. Because I just felt like कि love story के चक्कर में 5-6 गाने आ जाते हैं, 2-3 माउंटेन आ जाते हैं, एक स्विस एप्स का एक राउंड हो जाता है, और उसमें से 50 में से एक अच्छी होती है, बाकी 49 are a disappointment. You'd rather take that money and put it in another story which deserves to be told. Why are we so obsessed with just this one genre, And it's very unhealthy for any genre when people start making too many of those. Because then people get sick of the genre. It's not the fault of the genre, it's actually the fault of the crappy films that are coming out, which are putting you off about the genre, So on one hand, I think it's really healthy that today we are making films of all types and of all genres, because of which today you are asking this question, it's so refreshing after such a long time, a love story. So there's something refreshing about the genre, it's always good that happens. Having said that, I think also sometimes, we make this mistake of, like when we all saw Titanic. You remember how you felt when you saw Titanic? So love is timeless. We should not start assuming and start sending this message out in society कि आजकल तो प्यार होता ही नहीं है, प्यार बड़ा फास्ट होता है, प्यार बड़ा फ्रिवलेस होता है, तो फ्रिवलेस सी एक फिल्म बना लो, कोई मीनिंग वाली फिल्म मत बनाओ, उसके अंदर कुछ इमोशन मत डालो, कुछ इंटेंसिटी मत डालो, कुछ ड्रामा मत डालो. Love is only fluffy, so let's make stupid fluffy films about love. That's a mindset which we're in right now. That is not unhealthy. I think if a love story must be substantial. And I think our favorite love stories over time have been very substantial in their content. The drama has been substantial, the relationships have been substantial, the characters have been memorable, well written, well executed, taken you through the entire array of emotions where you feel happy when they meet for the first time, then you get nostalgic कि मेरे साथ भी ऐसा हुआ था, then you get worried what's going to happen with these characters, and then hopefully you walk out with a smile on your face. So some tragedies also have done very well. So I think love stories are a very elite kind of genre and should not be attempted too much. Only people who are qualified and have something worthy of sharing should attempt love stories. Yeah.
I mean, every Bollywood, anyone who aspires to be a Hindi film heroine wants that. I did a film called Machine, which was a bit like that. None of you all saw it. But it was a bit like that. And I really personally enjoyed it. And I mean, the experience. But I feel this is something that I could connect to much more. It's very difficult to even do something like that. I think it takes a lot. It takes a lot of conviction to make that ideal love story. And I think the beauty of a love story which is so real is that in 2019 we can all connect to that, and it's still timeless. It's still so passionate, but at the same time, because it's so flawed, it seems more real and more relatable. So I would say this is my dream love story that I would have wanted to be a part of, and I'm lucky and glad and blessed that they came to me with this opportunity.
So I have a question.